my partner in crime, Jim Scheibel. We are part of the Tegeder Talk organizing committee, and we are delighted to have you here and to welcome Sandra Schneiders, who has done nothing short of Wonder Woman-ish in getting here between canceled flights and delayed flights and terrible weather and all of that, and she's here. So thank you so much, Sandra. This is our inaugural Tegeder Talk, honoring the legacy of Fr Mike Tegeder. Mike was an outspoken advocate for social justice, full inclusivity, and speaking truth to authority. We're delighted that Sandra Schneiders, noted feminist theologian and scholar, is able to be with us as we kick off our Tegeder Talk series. As mentioned earlier, Jim and I are representatives of the Tegeder Talk working group, which included a number of volunteers, and we welcome you. Bathrooms may be found in the first floor office corridor, up these stairs or with the elevator, and down to the right, or in our basement. So they're accessible by stairs or elevator. Many of you may have received an index card. That's to jot down a question you might have for Sandra following her presentation. We'll have a Q&A session, and our ushers will start gathering them toward the end of her talk with baskets. So please look toward them and pass your question over toward the aisle.
Well, thank you, Julia. It's great to see so many people here. It's a very special evening, a way for us to honor Mike Tegeder, but a way to say we move forward in what he stands for. Particularly, he wanted people to have deep discussions about important issues. And I know Mike is smiling right now, saying, I wish, well, he's with us, and we'll be listening, and knowing that we will take what we hear tonight and turn it, make it happen in our communities. Our plan is to do 2 Tegeder Talks every year, so I want to invite you to become sponsors and supporters. Many of you have already been very generous, but we want this to be an ongoing tradition about serious conversations about important issues. One of the things, knowing many of the people here, is we're strong when we're united and everybody does their part. And it's hard to replace people like Mike Tegeder, but all of us have something to give to the community, to give to the church, and to move forward with a social justice agenda. And we're very fortunate here at Cabrini to have a pastor that is continuing that tradition, working with us, leading the way for a better Catholic community at St. Frances and in the Archdiocese. So I would like to welcome for a greeting Father Paul Mugri.
Again, good evening. Really delighted you're here, as Jim said. I came as sacramental minister last April when Mike took time away from the parish for medical reasons, for his cancer treatments. And then when he died, I was appointed as pastor last July. That's how long I've been here. When I was assigned here as minister, sacramental minister last April, a good friend of mine, Mike Byron, pastor at St. Pascal's, sent this to me. He said, Paul, Cabrini is a community where the human condition is welcomed, accepted, and celebrated. That has been my experience, personally, and when others have been welcomed. At Mike's funeral, Archbishop Hebda described him in a few ways. One way that he was described by Archbishop Hebda is that Mike was the pebble in the shoe of Jesus Christ. Or the shoe of the church. Now that pebble has become a seed for us to continue to grow and carry that on. Again, delighted you're here.
Next Next, I'd like to introduce Mary Lou Sweet, our parish administrator, who is not only an outstanding administrator of our parish, but also is a close friend of Mike's, and she'd like to share a few words about why we're having this Tegeder Talks series. Mary Lou?
Good evening. Many of you present tonight had the good fortune of knowing Mike Tegeder. Whether he married you, baptized your children, moved your furniture, was your pastor, your mentor, your friend, or your co-worker, you likely came to discern what a unique and special soul this person was. And if you're like me, you wondered why you had been so blessed as to come to share some time and space with him on this planet. Some of you may have known only Mike's public face, the one that spoke truth to power with courage, honesty, and wisdom. Regardless, Mike's life ended much too soon when he died last July, 5 months to the day after he was diagnosed with cancer that had already infiltrated his body. About 2 months before he died, Mike related to me in an email that if he had any legacy at Cabrini, he hoped it would be that he had encouraged adult conversation about vital topics. So today, I'm delighted, humbled, and honored to present to you tonight, less than a year from his expression of this wish, the first in what we hope to be a series of conversations called Tegeder Talks. Why do we want to continue Mike's desire to encourage conversation? Because, as he said in one of his pastor's comments, silence is not golden. Mike knew that secrets exist in the midst of scandal, and the way to prevent that is to bring the true issues to light. We hope tonight's talk fills a need you have and drives you forth to have many more vital conversations, leading to hope and action for the goodness of humanity that Mike exemplified so beautifully. Could that be why we were so blessed to be in his company on this earth? Thank you for being here, and as we move on with the evening, may we do so in Mike's words and in the presence of his love for the true Catholic Church. May we do so in the name of our ever-living, ever-loving, ever-unfolding God.
I'd like to welcome Chris Kozowski next. Chris is not only our liturgist, she is quite a theologian in her own right and actually has had personal experiences learning from Sandra. Chris?
It is a great honor to introduce our speaker tonight, Sandra Schneiders. And I was asked to share a small personal connection in this intro, so that will be woven in here as well. To begin, her own words provide a fine foundation for describing her work for well over half a century. Here are her words. My writing has emerged from the two major involvements of my life, living as a member of a Roman Catholic religious order, the Sisters, Servants of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, which I entered at the age of 18 in 1955, and teaching theology at the graduate level in an ecumenical and interreligious environment. This ecumenical and interreligious environment she speaks of is most particularly the Jesuit School of Theology of Santa Clara University, part of and located at the Graduate Theological Union in Berkeley, California, where she has been since 1976, and is Professor Emerita of New Testament Studies and Christian Spirituality. I was fortunate to be there in Berkeley for 1 year, 35 years ago, as a student in the Institute for Spirituality and Worship, for which Sandra was a staff member 1976 to 97, and executive coordinator for the first few of those years. My memory is that she was a challenging and beloved faculty member. That is supported as well by the rich and substantial record of her career in teaching and lectures everywhere, and also commissions and board memberships. The list of her writings, both her books, her own books, as well as books and periodicals to which she has contributed, along with honors and awards, is wonderfully long. Please look them up on your own for an enriching view of some of her research and teaching interests, which include spirituality, feminism, Jesus and the Gospel of John, biblical hermeneutics, New Testament interpretation, and contemporary Catholic women's religious life in the U.S. For many years after my year in the Institute in Berkeley, each time upon receiving the alumni magazine from the Jesuit School of Theology, I would turn to the section in the back, describing the accomplishments of graduates and of faculty members. I could always count on a delightful entry about Sandra, what she was writing, where she was speaking, what she was up to. Thus, I was not surprised last fall when I opened up the new book edited by Elizabeth Johnson, CSJ, entitled The Strength of Her Witness, which is a rich collection of essays on Christology by 25 women from all over the world, to find that the very first essay on Mary Magdalene in the John's Gospel was by Sandra Schneiders, and read it eagerly, even and especially her footnotes. I'll close with Sandra's own words again regarding her writing for both scholarly journals and pastoral publications. She says, I discovered that I had the ability to make complex theological and spiritual material clear to people.